Awaken. Are you ready for some spiritual manna today? Hello and welcome to the Good Info Cafe, where multiple intelligences meet each day. I'm JK, today as it is in heaven today, on earth as it is in heaven today. Oh, vocal fry, vocal fry, vocal fry. Oh, I didn't think about it. I have a nice guitar here that I'm playing on the back of, so I think I'll be okay. It has a good varnish. So, an American Trilogy, Mickey Newbury arranged that medley of 3 songs. I'm going to try circular breathing. I've only heard about and never tried on a trumpet. The song suggestion for today is Mademoiselle Hyde. The song suggestion for today is Mademoiselle Hyde by Dimash. Check it out. If you like James Bond sounding music, this sounds like a James Bond song, but it's not. It's called Mademoiselle Hyde, and originally sang by Laura Fabian, Laura Fabian, I think it was, back in 2016. I think she wrote the words, and Igor Krutoy wrote the music, I think. But Dimash's version, hers is good too. But check out Mademoiselle Hyde. I'm doing the music section here. Then subjects, Jenny Moore Task Force, to honor her, the Book of Revelations. We always talked about that every time we got together with George. He maybe was on the phone or doing something else, and then Jenny and I would always talk about the Book of Revelations. So that part, I'm going to honor a friend of mine, somebody I hadn't seen in a while, but just honoring. He was a sweet guy, sweet soul, and he now has gone to be with the Lord, so keep his 3 children in your prayers. And just a really nice guy, hardworking guy, kept things simple, and did a great job providing for his family. Also, the Walkman story, maybe I'll finish that. And then a show and tell story about my tongue. My tongue is helpful for singing. It helps me, the placement, and it's a geographic tongue. It has lots of little cuts in it, little tributaries and rivers. And then this, the Good Info Cafe, music, fun, big serious concepts, and I am a follower of Jesus, so of course that's going to be part of this. And I like better on a channel that's appropriate, that's about big concepts and philosophy and life and mysteries, that the person says where they're at. So that's why I do that. I say where I'm at, but of course everyone's welcome. Everyone always has been, and that's never been other than that. But there's been maybe 1 person that I've blocked from this channel. Maybe not even any, but it's always based on what I think is contributing, and certainly I get feedback from other good contributors, visitors, friends, followers, and there are people who don't want to make comments, and that's fine, and they're still part of the channel. Awesome. So music, it's always, as I've developed it, music, fun, big serious concepts, and Book of Revelations, are we in the end of the age, God, godless, or other? And that's because I was thinking about, Sean made some awesome comments, and so did Brent, about Christians who, and once again, I'm a follower of Isho. Whatever Mary said when she called Jesus to dinner, and I don't think it was Jesus food, whatever the Aramaic word. Unless they used Hebrew, then it would be more like Joshua, Yeshua. But if it was Aramaic, it would be something like Isho. So I'm a follower of Isho. And I want to make that clear, and that will always be there. And I don't like it when it's appropriate for people to say where they're at, but they don't, and then you get a sense. So I am transparent, always have been, authentic. And so what was my point? That it's always open for anyone, and it's based on that right there. That's, I try to get as close to the Holy Spirit as possible. I think that and if you don't believe in the Holy Spirit, then you do believe in accuracy and authenticity and access. Something in the news was about access, and now I can't remember what it was. That's what it's based on. So that's external from me. I'll go so you can see everything. External from me, so that's where things are open. So if it's not good and helpful, then, at some point when I do live, get to the live, I guess that would be a next step, is doing live. And I would have moderators and can decide if something is a troll and somebody's trying to suck things down and is causing problems. Not a different subject, not thinking differently, just that it's not contributing to music, fun, big serious concepts, and are we in the end of an age? Book of Revelations, to honor Jenny. So Jenny is a very big foundation, because keeping that going reminds me of her and keeps her spirit alive as part of this channel. And I see so that was funny. I was saying I was 60 today, but also other days. So December is my birthday. I was, my due date was either on Christmas or around Christmas. My mother was born on Christmas Day, and it never really, she felt as special as others. She loved Jesus and all that, but she just one time tried to have her birthday in the summer, and then my grandmother was living with us, and that was around when her birthday was, so it never worked. But my mother didn't want me to be born on December 25th or have that chance, or Christmas Eve even, I don't know, but she was Christmas Day. So she made sure I came out 3 weeks early. So early December is my birthday. So I'm 60 today also, but I was 60 yesterday, and I'll be 60 tomorrow. And thank you, Brent, for wishing me a happy 61st birthday very early. So so I guess right now I do want to honor, he was just a sweet person that life got very difficult for, and then he found out he had, where it turns out he had very bad health issues and all that. So just keep Kurt's soul in your prayers, and his 3 kids, and I loved him and love his kids. So he's gone on to be with the afterlife, God, whatever your beliefs, that's what I believe, or in waiting for the final judgment. Then my question of the day, the QOD, QOtD. What is the most persecuted group of people based on their beliefs and way of life in the world? This is just based on what I've read, and I think it's United Nations. I'm trying to remember where my sources were of this persecuted group, based on their beliefs and way of life, is the most persecuted in the world. That's my QOD. Then the grade and priority rating. So I give a grade, and then I prioritize where that is, the thing I'm grading, where that is in priority, with the highest priority. So I'm going, that's 1 as the top priority, and over there is, 2,000, 5,000, whatever. And it's about people who lie about a certain person. So I'll get to it when I do the grade. I did a lot of investigation and had already known things about this person that is in the news all the time. And there's so many lies about this person. So I'm going to grade the ones who lie about this person in the news. And then creator or other, and under, so it's either creator or other from there, where they might think there is, there isn't, agnostic, that kind of thing, and not creator, those categories. So it's just a way to get a discussion going based on the I flap. The double A to the double C to the double R is a way of an external standard that everyone will answer to, including me. The channel answers to that. So hold me to that standard. God or other, godless, many gods, those contrasts. And then open this channel, of course, and it has been from the beginning, open to anything that is not harmful. So if anyone else has a channel, they judge things and have things on there, don't have things on there. So I'll be judging things. And like I said, I think I blocked one person, but I don't even know if I did. And eventually when I do live, we'll have moderators who will also do that when it's disrupting what we're trying to say, and all that kind of stuff. So that's as we're developing. So, and I have a really cool song today, an American Trilogy, so I want to talk about that. And then the birthmarks. So here's the Mount of Olives here. Garden of Gethsemane is here. So for my birthmark over here, where's me? I am, in relation to this, I am up here. Yeah, I'm like up here. So I look down on my birthmark like this. But this is the south-north orientation of Old City Jerusalem. And it's also a valley. So yes, this is since 1541, but the ancient walls were here too, because that's a valley. And the valley goes down like this. So the walls here, though, do go down here. So it's a natural place. And then this is a natural valley that goes in and here. And my birthmark does the same thing. And then this, I'm not sure how natural this part is. It does go up a little bit from here because the mountain comes down like this, and that's Mount Moriah where Abram and then Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac. That's the leading spot for it. In the Dome of the Rock. It's also called Al-Quds. Al-Quds is what Muslims call Jerusalem, I think. Al-Quds, something like that. Anyway, it's what it is, and God knows your heart and all that. We can call things lots of different things, and words are very important. And I have my... Now, it is time for nutritious input. It is time for nutritious input. So pause the video if you don't have your food. We break bread each day, and we have spiritual manna. We do both because the multiple intelligences need the five senses. 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 Multiple intelligences need the five senses. Love that smell. And then I'm about to do taste. They look good because I love peanuts. Oh, even that sounds good. Get all the five senses going. Pause the video if you don't have your nutritious input, then nutritious health output, not nutritious input, then not healthy body output. So get yours, and I don't know about the feel. It's kind of a cool feel, but let me see. There's my peanut. I don't have about 3 of them. Let me see. Where's the camera? There it is. There's the peanut. And any kind, planters, but I think this is just peanuts, and so that's healthy. So it is, oh geez, no, nope, nope, I don't like it. I will eat it since we're breaking bread, but it says partially produced with genetic engineering. I guess that can be done good, but it can also be done, there can be bad genetic engineering. So, but here we go. So I'm eating partially produced with genetically. I'm building up my immunity to bad genetic engineering if there's some bad in here. So, here we go. Sheree don't like it. Boom, boom. I was about to scratch my nose on camera, but now I do it off camera. Is that really any better? Oh yeah, if I tell you that's what I'm doing, then it's just as bad. Also, look, we got a big change happening. I'll explain it maybe on the next video. I'm having to move. Can't afford the rent. But we're coming up with something, me and my wife. And it's going to be a big change. And it looks like I'm going to join the choir that I was in high school and have been in back and forth. My father sings in that choir. I first played drums in that choir when I was in high school. Played drums for He's Alive, a really cool musical about Yeshua. So what was I saying about? Oh yeah, so today I was singing because we did Saturday Mass for confirmation. And by the way, the Sabbath, it turns out, as long as you rest one day out of 7, that's what the Sabbath is. The Sabbath is for us. We weren't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for us, said Yeshua, Joshua, Isho. So keep that in mind. It just God is saying, hey, you deserve a rest one day a week. All right. So come live in the light. Shine with the joy and the love of the Lord. We are called to be light for the kingdom, to live in the freedom of the city of God. City of God is Jerusalem. Just realize that. We are called to act with justice. We are called to love tenderly. We are called to serve one another, to walk humbly with God. Oh yeah, I'm going to try circular breathing. We'll see how many I get to of the things I named. Circular breathing. I've never tried this, except for right before the video turned on, I did it once, but let's see if I can get my circular breathing going. It'll be a different dynamic, but it might be consistent. Let's see. Something like that. See, you breathe through your nose when you're doing, so that's how I get my breath back. So circular breathing is really cool. It's the way Kenny G was able to hold a note for minutes by doing circular breathing. Okay, now, an American Trilogy. So, you need to understand this. This was about 1970, 71 in LA, and Mickey Newbury, who was a songwriter, but he did this as an arrangement, 3 songs. And it sounded like it was spontaneous. You know, he had never done it publicly. And a woman named Odetta, some of you might know who Odetta is. I think she has a gospel background and folk, definitely folk. And Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson were in the audience. And it was a time, 1970, that was, if the Vietnam War lasted a few more years, I would have been drafted. And my neighbor was part of the Nixon administration, and I think he was part of saying, okay, we need to end the war. And if he was inspired by us teenagers, that would be awesome. But anyway, Mickey Newbury put together 3 songs as a medley. And it was a Southern anthem, but also a Northern anthem, written by a Northerner, Daniel Decatur Emmett, who wrote it in New York City, purportedly, about a farm in Manhattan called somebody Dixie, so Dixie's Farm. So that's how I'm going to be singing this, is a return to the leisurely life on the farm of Dixie's Farm. And then a Northern anthem, Glory, Glory, written by a Southerner, William Steffi, wrote the music, And Julia Ward Howe wrote the lyrics, and she was a for suffrage, the women's vote, and many other issues that have been looked at as liberal issues, but now with the lefties taking over, they even go after true good liberals. And then a third song was originally maybe a slave song from either Jamaica or the Bahamas called All My Sorrows. And this song, he just did this somewhat spontaneously or for the first time in public because it was a very, very controversial time, 1970, Kent State, Vietnam War, and he was trying to bring people together to a song, all types of songs, the Dixie and then Glory Hallelujah, the two songs that were split in America. But it turns out that even Emmett said, the guy who wrote it, said it was for everybody and it was for healing. Many Northern abolitionists took offense to the South, saying that Dixie was theirs. It was originally written as a satirical critique of the institution of slavery in the South. Dixie, a satirical critique of the institution of slavery in the South. Before even the fall of Fort Sumter, Francis J. Crosby published Dixie for the Union and Dixie Unionized. The tune formed part of the repertoire of both Union bands and common troops until 1863. Broadsides circulated with titles like the Union Dixie or the New Dixie. So I want to take that song back for America. The true Dixie, the Northern singers. Northern Dixies disagree with the Southerners over the institution of slavery, and this dispute at the center of the divisiveness and destructiveness of the American Civil War played out in the culture of American folk music through the disputes over the meaning of this song. Emmett, the one who wrote it, or most likely he took the tune that had already been out there and he codified it. Emmett himself arranged Dixie for the military in a book of fife instruction in 1862, and a 1904 work by Charles Burleigh Galbraith claims that Emmett gave his official sanction to Crosby's Union lyrics. At least 39 versions of the song, both vocal and instrumental, were published between 1860 and 1866. 39 versions. Northerners, Emmett among them, also declared that the Dixieland of the song was actually in the North, on Manhattan, a Manhattan farm, where things were much more leisurely. On April 10th, 1865, one day after the surrender of General Robert E. Lee, this song was used by Lincoln to celebrate the victory, to say, the North, America has Dixie. And this is what he said. This is what Lincoln said. I propose now closing up by requesting you play a certain piece of music or a tune. I thought Dixie one of the best tunes I've ever heard. I had heard that our adversaries over the way had attempted to appropriate it. I insisted yesterday that we had fairly captured it. So Lincoln took the song back when he won the Civil War. That is, okay, and I asked the band to give a good turn to it. So they played Dixie at General Robert E. Lee's surrender. As late as 1934, the music journal, The Etude, asserted that the sectional sentiment attached to Dixie has been long forgotten, and today it is heard everywhere, north, east, south, west. Julia Ward Howe is a lyricist of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, also born in New York, a Northerner. And what's my point? Oh, that I think the farm, somebody, John Dixie or whoever it was on Manhattan, did have slaves and then sent them south, and they were longing for coming back to Dixie's farm where things are more leisurely, and then slavery was abolished in 1820s in the North or in New York or whatever. My voice is a little goobered from that peanut. You're hyper-focused when you're about to sing a song, so I got to see, not using a pick, see if I can play it like up here. Because it is, move it back a little bit. It's a pretty big song. I just touched my nose. I just touched my nose. They might have not noticed, except you just touched your nose. All right, so I'm trying to get the peanuts out of my mouth. Me, 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 oh, la, 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 la. So, at some spontaneity, Mickey Newbury arranged these 3 songs and played it for the first time in LA in 1971, I think it was. Big hit for Elvis. But I think it got higher on the charts with Mickey Newbury. And he's since passed in 2009, I think. Very talented guy, very good looking guy too, Mickey Newbury. Oh, I wish I was in a land of cotton. Old times are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Oh, I wish I was in Dixie, away, away. In Dixieland, I'll take my stand to live and die in Dixie, for Dixie's land, where I was born. Early, Lord, one frosty morning, look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy's bound to die. But all my trials, Lord, will soon be over. Look away, look away, look away to Dixie's land. Trying to bring the country together is what Mickey Newbury was doing. And Dixie is for the whole country. And Dixie originally was written as a satirical critique of the institution of slavery in the South, according to what I read. So that's called an American Trilogy. Mickey Newbury's is really a sweet version, and Elvis's is really big and powerful. And he does a big ending, so it's epic. So, I kind of went through this, right? Yeah, so, Creator, in honor of Jenny, we talked about Creator, God, in the book of Revelation, so that'll always be a part of this channel. It's a part of who I am, and that's about being authentic. And I see the time, so I'll wrap it up. I will wrap it up. Wrap it up. Look away, Dixieland. Glory, glory. I think that's it. Goodbye. I think that's it so far. I think that's it. Show. I think that's it so far. I think that's it. Goodbye. Now for Brent, maybe I'll do some circular. So. So you can tell when I'm breathing. And there go the dogs. And are we in the end of an age, right? Are we in the end of an age?